Did you know that 93% of communication is nonverbal? That means only 7% of what we say comes from words. Shocking, right? Most people focus on the words they use, but the real magic happens in how they deliver those words. Body language shapes how your audience sees you and your message. Imagine giving a presentation where your words are strong, but your posture is weak. You might say something amazing, but if you slouch or avoid eye contact, people may not believe you. This is why understanding body language is crucial for any speaker. In this video, we will dive deep into body language strategies that can elevate your speaking skills. You'll learn how to master eye contact to build trust, how to mirror your audience for better connection, and how to use movement purposefully to keep attention. Get ready to discover tips that many speakers overlook. By the end, you'll not only know the importance of body language but also how to use it to leave a lasting impression on your audience. Let's unlock the power of your body language and become a great speaker together. Chapter 1: Silent Signals. How your body talks before you do. When you walk into a room, your body begins communicating long before you say a word. Research from Albert Mehrabian suggests that 55% of communication is nonverbal. Think about that, more than half of what people perceive from you has nothing to do with what you actually say. Your stance, facial expressions, and the way you move carry huge weight. Before you even speak, your posture tells people how confident, or unsure, you feel. Slouching can make you appear insecure, while standing tall with shoulders back instantly signals confidence. One powerful yet simple technique is the open stance. It's all about keeping your body facing the audience with uncrossed arms and legs. This makes you appear approachable and trustworthy. Here's an interesting fact: studies show that good posture not only makes you look more confident but actually makes you feel more confident. It's called the feedback loop effect. Your brain reacts to your physical posture. So, stand tall, and your brain will follow. Facial expressions are another subtle but crucial part of body language. Smiling before you speak, even for a second, can change the way people feel about you. A study from the University of Kansas found that smiling reduces stress and helps you feel more relaxed. This calmness will show in your speech. Finally, don't forget your hands. Keep them relaxed by your side, or better yet, use them to illustrate your points. The moment you start fidgeting, people pick up on your nervousness. Avoid touching your face or neck too, these are giveaway signs of anxiety. Chapter 2: The Power Pose Myth. What actually works? Everyone loves the idea of the power pose. You know, standing tall like a superhero for 2 minutes to boost confidence. While it's a catchy concept, the science behind it is shaky. A study in psychological science debunked the belief that power posing significantly alters hormone levels. Confidence doesn't come from just standing tall for a minute, it's about how you engage with your audience in real time. So, what does work? Instead of focusing on just standing tall, concentrate on your entire body's presence. One simple strategy is called grounding. Before you speak, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, firmly planted. This gives you stability, both physically and mentally. When you're grounded, you feel more balanced and in control. And let's talk about hand placement, another area where myths abound. A common mistake speakers make is holding their hands behind their back. It might seem like it gives off a calm, collected vibe, but in reality, it hides your hands, which makes you look less trustworthy. Studies show that people are more likely to trust someone who talks with visible hands. A small but powerful tweak is to keep your hands open and visible at all times. When you gesture with open palms, it sends a signal of honesty and openness. On the other hand, clenching your fists or pointing can come across as aggressive, which closes off your connection with the audience. Another key element is posture while speaking. Instead of remaining frozen in one spot, learn to move purposefully. But here's the trick: don't overdo it. You want to move just enough to keep the energy flowing, but not so much that you look like you're pacing anxiously. Aim to move naturally to emphasize key points, and pause when you want to create impact. Chapter 3: Unlocking Hand Gestures. Speak with your whole body. When it comes to hand gestures, there's a real art to using them effectively. Research shows that people who use meaningful hand gestures are seen as more engaging, memorable, and convincing. Gestures are not just for emphasis, they actually help your audience understand and remember your message. But here's the kicker: not all hand gestures are created equal. Overly repetitive or random movements can distract and weaken your message. Instead, focus on what experts call iconic gestures. These are movements that visually represent what you're talking about. For instance, if you're describing something small, show it with your hands by making a pinch. If you're talking about something growing, use an expanding motion with your hands. Harvard psychologist Amy Cuddy talks about how using your hands in sync with your words improves not only audience retention but also your own mental clarity. Your brain processes your thoughts better when your hands are moving with purpose. Here's an interesting stat. According to a study published in the Journal of Memory and Language, listeners are 30% more likely to remember information when a speaker uses meaningful gestures. That's a massive boost for anyone trying to make their message stick. Another tip is to avoid micro-gestures, small, rapid hand movements that happen unconsciously when you're nervous. These gestures often go unnoticed by the speaker but can be distracting to the audience. Instead, practice using larger, more deliberate gestures that command attention. Lastly, gesture placement matters. Studies show that people who gesture at chest or waist level appear more relatable, while those who gesture too high, above the head, can seem overly dramatic or disconnected. Keep your movements smooth and at a comfortable level for your audience to see. If you're finding these tips helpful, make sure to subscribe for more insights on becoming a better speaker. Chapter 4. The Eyes Have It. Mastering eye contact to command attention. Eye contact is one of the most powerful ways to connect with your audience. It's simple, but it can make or break your presentation. Studies show that effective eye contact increases trust and credibility. One Harvard Business Review study even found that speakers who make consistent eye contact are 43% more likely to persuade their audience. The key is balance. Too little eye contact makes you seem untrustworthy or unsure. Too much, and it can feel intimidating. The sweet spot? Aim to make eye contact with different people for about 3–5 seconds each. This keeps things natural and helps you engage with everyone in the room. Here's a quick tip. Break the room into sections and focus on each area for a few moments. This makes large audiences feel like you're speaking directly to them without overwhelming yourself by trying to lock eyes with every single person. It's known as the lighthouse technique. One mistake speakers often make is looking over people's heads or at their notes too much. While this might seem like it relieves some pressure, it can actually disconnect you from your audience. Instead, try the triangle method. Alternate between 3 key people in the audience, as if you're having a conversation with them. This creates a more personal and interactive feel. Here's a fun fact. Research from the University of Wolverhampton found that speakers who vary their eye contact rhythm, by shifting it around the room, are perceived as more competent and likable. The takeaway? Don't stare at one spot. Keep your gaze moving to keep the room engaged. If you're speaking virtually, the same rules apply. Look directly into the camera to simulate eye contact. It might feel strange at first, but it makes a huge difference in how connected and trustworthy you seem to the viewers on the other side of the screen. Chapter 5. Mirror. Mirror. How matching your audience's movements builds trust. Mirroring is a subtle but powerful way to connect with your audience. It's a technique where you copy someone's body language, tone, or gestures in a natural way. When done correctly, it builds rapport and makes people feel comfortable around you. People like people who are like them. This is a basic principle of human psychology. But here's the catch, you have to be subtle about it. If someone notices you mirroring them too directly, it can feel awkward or even manipulative. Instead, focus on matching general body language cues, like posture or the energy level of the room. A classic study by psychologists at NYU found that people are more likely to say yes to someone who subtly mirrors their body language. In fact, they're 67% more likely to agree with you if they feel you're in sync with them physically. That's a huge advantage when trying to persuade an audience. One easy way to mirror your audience is through pacing. If your audience is sitting calmly and listening intently, match their energy by using slower, more deliberate gestures. On the flip side, if you notice that your audience is more energetic, pick up your pace and move a bit more. Mirroring works even better when it's paired with vocal matching. This doesn't mean imitating accents or speech patterns, but adjusting your tone and volume to reflect the room's energy. If your audience is quiet and attentive, use a softer tone. If they're more lively, speak with more enthusiasm. You can also use facial expressions to mirror the mood of your audience. If you're delivering exciting news, a wide smile helps to connect. If you're discussing something serious, a more solemn expression creates empathy. This is a form of emotional mirroring that helps you align with the emotions of your listeners. If you enjoyed these tips, don't forget to subscribe for more insights on enhancing your speaking skills and making a memorable impact.